us today. We have so much going on. I'm Cath.
And I'm Nic.
And we have a super guest who I'll introduce in a minute, but I know that Nic has something to tell us.
Yes, hi. Welcome to the Right Away After Party. We love what we do. We love to share it with you. So please share it with others. And if you like our video, please like and subscribe to our channel and go back and look at other episodes. We are here to support you. We're here to cheer you on. And let's just laugh our way through. All right, back to the show.
Absolutely. And we're going to welcome Madeleine.
Welcome, Madeleine.
Thank you so much. It's absolutely lovely to be here. And I love that. Let's laugh our way through it. That's like a perfect idea on this lovely sunny day from the UK.
Oh, good. Oh, good. It's a lovely gray day here in North Carolina. What's it like in Florida?
Oh, it's sunny and beautiful. I'm going to my pool after this.
Oh. Some people have all the luck. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Madeleine before we jump in and then ask her all sorts of questions. Madeleine was born in Germany with roots in Canada and the UK and is the founding editor of the Right On suite of magazines and publications, and the Right On podcast and the Extra E-zine. Oh my gosh, she's a magazine publisher and editor and has spent a lifetime writing as both a journalist and a marketeer. Ooh. She's focused particularly on international development. Now, I love that part. International development and education, producing national and I lost my place. It happens. Let me try again. She is focused particularly on international development and education, producing national and international web and print magazines, and is passionate about helping to create voices for those without one. That just calls to my heart.
I love that. Cheers,
Isn't
cheers,
it?
cheers.
Isn't it? I'm almost done because she's lots going on. Her debut novel, Mother of Floods, was published in 2020. In 2020, the middle of the pandemic, goodness me. And the Crossing Places poetry series will be published and includes a few poems. There we go. Look, she's going to show them all to us. Yes, The Girl and the Horse, The Maiden Mother. Oh, fantastic. So I don't even need to.
I think we just welcome Madeleine to the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
I think she's gearing. I think she's ready.
She's ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to be fired from not being able to read.
No. Yeah. We're laughing our way through. Madeleine, I love that last book. What was it called? The Horse? What was it?
The Horse. This was my first poetry collection.
I love the cover. It's so sweet.
Thank you so much. That's adventures. Basically, it was kind of I after my first novel, which was launched in COVID, so you can imagine, debut novelist launched in COVID. All the events were cancelled. It was a US Canadian publisher, and it is what it is. But I kind of swore to myself, right, so I'm not going to write again. It's just too much. It's too hard. And so then one day I was sitting on my old mare. She's a kind of equine equivalent age of me.
Aww.
And I just thought, I can breathe. I can feel these words coming to me. And so I wrote a poem, and that was what started the Horse and the Girl collection, which then led on in a funny kind of way, as writing always does, from one thing and the other into the other, to another poetry collection with Maiden Mother Crone, which got picked up by another publisher, and then finally to the anthology, which is coming out in that Crossing Places series, which is coming out this August. So, that was from sitting on the horse, suddenly thinking, actually, maybe I've just got enough in me to put something else on the page after swearing I'd never write again.
I love that you changed your mind. Oh, you see, we do this a lot. We're so excited to chat and ask questions. And I wonder, I think it's quite a common thing that we as writers suddenly get deflated and go, that's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was saying, Cath, how many times have we heard this? We've heard this story. You're not alone. This is like a common thread, especially with COVID. We've had guests that had their books launched during COVID.
Yes.
It's the hardest thing they've ever dealt with. So, I mean, I applaud you for keep going, but I love
Mm.
that cover is so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I get a copy of that for myself.
Well, interestingly enough, and again, it's like, any writer's journey, that was actually that I've had two publishers for The Horse and the Girl, and the first one was an Irish publisher, and very well respected, in Northern Ireland actually. And then when I sold in Maiden Mother Crone to a US publisher, actually, Sea Crow Press, she asked whether I had any backlist. And I said, well, you might be interested in The Horse and the Girl, which is how it got that beautiful cover.
Oh, how nice.
So, I think that's another thing I would say, no writer's journey is ever linear. And all kinds of things come from all over the place all the time. You just have to be a receptacle, and willing in some way to kind of connect with people and ideas and say yes.
Yes, absolutely. Kath, I think that's such a beautiful part of this that we do too, because I just think that we get to share that with other writers and we bring this to the table. And I think it's just amazing that, you when you write the book, you have one intention and you just never know the journey and the life of that book, like what's going to actually
Absolutely.
happen and transpose in the world. And I think that's just such a beautiful sentiment. So, what a great way to start the podcast.
Thank you, Nick.
So I know
Um,
Kath has some questions.
I do. Oh, I hope I do. I have 1,000 questions, but just before we started recording, you were telling us that part of the company that you work with, in collaboration with, right? Pen to Print, they're over in Hay. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in Hay, especially for the US audience who might not be so familiar with that.
So, thank you so much for that question, Kath, because I think, Hay is probably the world's best known literary festival, and
Mm.
I know they've got offshoots in all kinds of places as well. I think there's one in Colombia. It's a national and international movement, of thought leadership and art and cultural exploration that isn't just about audience, it's actually about participation. So it's the many to the many. So in terms of the magazine that I run, and we have a really good relationship with Hay, they're sponsors, issue sponsors, every April for our spring edition. And the reason for that is because we believe in the many to the many as well. We believe very strongly in the strength and power of community, for writers and readers, and to find ways of co-creating together. And so, Pen to Print, which is an Arts Council England library organisation, and we all love libraries, don't we? Because readers are part of what makes us writers. And basically, they are all about really engaging with words. And they believe that it's really important to engage at an early age. And so they have a relationship with local secondary schools from that borough, and they take them over to Hay, which is just on the Welsh-English borders. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful
Beautiful
place.
countryside.
Just superb. And in the Wye Valley. And you basically, it is these young people get to go backstage, meet famous authors, get a real sense of it and engagement and why words matter. And then Pen to Print, because they're gluttons for punishment, they take some of my writing team. Write On is volunteer driven, again, by and for writers. And that is one of the ways we can reward the people who work with us, and to give them free passes into the events in Hay because of our partnership with Hay, and they get to stay in the lovely Trewern Centre. So it really is the absolute epitome of community engagement, but with a very, very serious concept of why culture matters, how we engage with it,
Mm.
how we participate in the conversations that matter, that are kind of, even though they feel like miles away from the geopolitical situation and so many of the difficult things we're coping with in our world today, actually some of those cultural conversations are incredibly important in terms of how we access and connect and create the world we want to see moving forwards. So that's a really long way of saying literary festivals matter, and the
Yes.
work that we do connects into them because it is about the many for the many.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. And Nick,
Yes. I think
Nick,
Thank
yes.
you.
next spring, where do we need to be next spring?
Oh my gosh. And, and I am part Welsh, so that would just be
Oh,
like
are you? The lovely dark hair. There we are.
my mom is Irish and Welsh, and then my dad's Italian. So I'm like I'm a good mixture of both, and I have no spice to me whatsoever.
I was going to say, Nick, that's really, with Canadian and German, and my husband's half Scottish, half Irish. So, I think we're becoming more and more of a polyglot society, aren't we? And
It's true.
actually, doesn't that give us some wonderful stories to connect to as well?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. And we
without a
just pull
doubt.
from all that. I love
Yeah.
that. All the ancestry. It's amazing. But gosh, I love the connectivity of all of that because it's just amazing to me how story just brings so many realms of people together and just for one common purpose. And that is to, educate and connect and just be together and celebrate words. I mean, just nothing's more beautiful. And I love
Celebrate
that.
story, whether it's written as a poem or it's written as a song or it's written as a novel or the story. I think we are all so pre-wired
Yes.
for story
Yeah.
Yeah.
that it just brings us in.
And I love that your team is over there because they're going to be able, not only are they there as like a little reward, but they're there also because they can bring all that back, all that lusciousness back to the
Absolutely.
writing, and how wonderful is that? I mean, the more we always talk about how you go out in the world, you get experience and you bring it back to the page,
Yeah.
and so I just think
Absolutely.
that's beautiful. What a great little like, circle of life.
I would say also, in this digital era, and don't get me wrong, I love the digital world. I was involved in educational technology. I actually like AI, but we'll come to that shortly. But
Ooh, hot topic.
I think the digital world is an important one. Look at how we're connecting. But at
Yes.
the same time, that humanity, that connection of humanity at the center of it, that's what drives it all. And that's what makes things count and what makes things matter. And
Yeah.
to me, I think these days, there's so many, with the issues with Anthropic, and Meta, and how authors' words are being stripped and repurposed and teaching LLMs and all these incredibly negative things that we're seeing. And I think and of course that for emerging writers who are trying to get their writing out there with an internet flooded with AI created books. And for me, what we were saying about story and why story matters so much, I think ultimately story is a connective tissue between people.
Agree.
And you can never ever replicate that through a digital, facsimile,
Oh,
basically. Because actually, how do you replicate that true human connection? And I think that's at the heart of the infrastructure we're building. And I
yeah.
think in our society now more than ever, finding our way back to that connective tissue is just absolutely critical in terms of our community restoration.
I think so too.
Stories are that.
I think that's a huge, huge topic. I mean, for me, I believe that no matter how far we get as far as technology is concerned, we're always going to look for a safe space where there's trust and there's vulnerability and there's humanness. And for me, I just think there's just such a magic that happens when a human being can actually write their truth on a page and actually share it and be vulnerable and create these emotions that, out of thin air almost. And create these really believable people. But the reason why they're believable people is because a person created them.
Absolutely.
And we take a chink of our own soul and we put it on that page, and I just don't think artificial intelligence will ever come close to what we can do without robbing other writers.
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. But I think it's an interesting, in our post-trust world, which we are at now.
Yeah.
I think the truth of story, of how we put ourselves out there and into our work, that truth will always ring out, and we will always see that. And
Yeah.
I think that's something we desperately need to protect and hang on to. And that also means that, there's so many stories out there that vanish because either people don't have the courage to tell their stories, people, don't think it's good enough, people have all kinds of reasons not to. But actually, we need to give people reasons why to, and why it is so important now to find a way of getting heard and getting your story out there. And I suppose that comes back really neatly to Write On, and another organization I support, Librere, which connects readers and writers and the publishing industry in a kind of new kind of platform that allows readers to engage directly with unpublished manuscripts, which is also really interesting.
That is
so it's all, it's
Now,
all of this.
Do you see what's happened? Do you see what's happened?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to.
No, stop.
I'm so engaged.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize. I think we would love to carry on this conversation. Have you a few more minutes?
Absolutely.
Do you want to do the rapid fire questions now, Nic?
Yes, let's do
the rapid fire questions. Hold that thought, Madeleine, because keep pointing. And when the recording comes out, I'm always pointing the wrong way.
Well, should we end the episode and then come back? If we want to do that,
sure.
Okay, then we'll come back.
Just abruptly end it.
Yes. All right, writer friends, come back for part 2 because we are not done with this.